Blockchain Show is a podcast that demystifies cryptocurrencies and distributed ledger technology.
Hiram, welcome to the Blockchain Show. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Very well.
It's great to be here.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Introduce yourself a little bit to the audience. This is your first time. Maybe share anything you'd like about your background and your blockchain journey, if you will.
Sounds good. My name is Hiram Vazquez. I'm the CEO and founder of LALA, a Web3 startup in the entertainment space. So we're creating a new fan experience. We are fans ourselves of movie and TV shows. And for those fans, we're creating a way for them to have new points of access and ownership over their favorite movies and TV shows. I've been working on this for the last year plus, but my blockchain journey started, I would say, in 2020, when I was really getting into more. I had invested in some crypto before that, but I was really getting into learning more about the tech, specifically Ethereum. I joined at around that time. I joined 776, which is Alexis Ohanian's venture fund, and part of my job was helping portfolio companies, a lot of them pre-product, to build their product. Also, we were investing in the Web3 space, so learning a lot about what was going on in the space. And that's when I really, at that time, NFTs were starting to blow up in 2020, beginning of 2021 with Top Shot. All these new community-led projects were blowing up, and community-led IP became billion-dollar IP pretty much overnight, with the main examples being Doodles and Bored Apes and all those. So at around that time, Alexis and I, both being collectors, we organically started talking about what was happening, and that led to us talking about what happens to the incumbents, the studios that arguably have some of the most valuable IP in the world, and how can they future proof themselves to remain relevant in the future. So that's kind of part of what I've been up to for the last few years. And before that, I've been in the startup space for just building products for forward-thinking startups such as Uber and others. And it's been great to build in the blockchain technology space. And giving access to people or new points of access has been kind of a trend in my career. So yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, very good. So let's talk some more about LALA. And it's kind of curious how it's transforming the fan experience. I'm just kind of curious, just how that transformation through digital collectibles, what that might look like.
Yeah, absolutely. It starts with creating new touch points with this IP. Right now, if you're an adult and you love a movie, other than streaming it, there's not much else that you can do. For kids, there's all the toys, and which is, by the way, one of the fastest growing segments of the toy industry. It's toys for adults. So there's a need for adults and a demand for adults to connect at a deeper level with entertainment IP, with movie and TV IP. But there's not many ways to do it. There's no brand known for creating those touch points and that connective tissue between the IP owner and the fans. So what that looks like today is when you buy one of the LALA collectibles, in this case, we launched with The Wolf of Wall Street, which celebrates its 10th anniversary this year, the big IP. You get amazing artwork that we were curated. So you get a digital version and a physical version of the artwork, but you also get access to unreleased footage from the movie. So as part of this partnership, we have access to every single take, every single scene that was shot for that movie. And in the next few weeks, we're curating clips from that so that fans can see kind of like the behind the scenes of how this movie, this modern classic, was made. So those type of things are not currently available to fans, and we're creating a platform where fans can go in, they can get the physical merch unlocked by this digital collectible. They also get it in new ways to interact with this IP and to go behind the scenes and in an industry that the industry of insiders, allowing fans to become insiders themselves.
Yeah, I like that. That's definitely something I miss about buying media. You get the DVD with all the deleted scenes and the posters, and there's a lot missing with streaming. So yeah, that's really cool. Well, other than that, you're talking about NFTs being a big trend in the recent years. Just kind of curious, is there anything else that kind of separates Lala's offerings from other digital collectibles in the market, specifically in the context of NFTs? Because I know it can vary a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So for the Wolf of Wall Street collectibles, we actually are allowing fans to, for the first time, own a piece of the revenue streams from the movie. So movies make money from licensing, from the box office, selling tickets when it comes to theaters, from merch, and we were able to secure a piece of the revenue stream from that movie and give it back to fans. So specifically, revenue streams from IP preservation efforts. So what that means is that right now there's a lot of big movies and brands. They're very popular. If you Google on websites like Redbubble or any other creator websites, you see a lot of bootleg merch out there. So a lot of that is taken down, and then you recoup some of the revenues that comes from the sales of those bootleg merch. What we're doing is taking that revenue stream and giving it back to fans.
That's impressive because, you think of the entertainment industry, it's kind of known for its traditional revenue models. I can imagine, fans, this is going to just change a lot of what they expect from not only owning the merchandise, but actually a part of the revenue streams. That's pretty incredible. Do you have any insights into the kind of the future of digital collectibles and film and TV and what fans can expect?
That's a good question. For one, like every big studio, they know the importance of blockchain technology, not only in like the collectibles space, but also in the distribution of their film to theaters in a secure way, or in the production process. There's definitely use cases where you could argue that blockchain technology makes it more efficient. So there are many ways that they're looking at this. And every single big studio has a small team of a small Web3 NFT team that's looking at this. But they're still trying to figure that out. One thing that's encouraging for people that are building in the space is that Bain and Company, one of the biggest consulting companies that works with a lot of these studios and that buys a lot of these studios, they posted or published recently the new entertainment industry article that talks about the opportunity of using blockchain for connecting with fans in a new way. And it says like it'll allow for revenues to increase by 20% just from that by 2030. So if like people advising these studios are telling them, hey, blockchain is real, it's legit, there's a real opportunity to increase your revenues, to create new revenue streams, and that's encouraging for us as builders to keep working in the space. And for what we're trying to do specifically, it's about allowing IP owners to own their relationship with fans. At the moment, that's not possible. Whenever there's a big movie, let's say like from a franchise, like a big franchise like Star Wars, there's no way. Like every time they start marketing a new chapter in Star Wars, they pretty much have to start from zero. There's no way for them to identify who watched the three last movies from Star Wars or shows, and to connect with them directly. So that's kind of like our longer term vision, is to create that connective tissue between the IP owners and the fans by creating these touch points between them, for the fans to engage in new ways with this IP. So it's creating a win-win for both the IP owner, which allows them to market more efficiently whenever there's new projects or new, merch collection or whatever that is, and for the fans to, immerse themselves in a new way to the stories into the stories that they already love.
Yeah, it's incredible. I think about collecting, and in my life, I literally would collect coins as a kid, and I still have a lot of them. All sorts of things I'd love to collect and just keep. But then there's other people who want to buy something and sell it later for a profit, and kind of everything in between. We've seen with cryptocurrencies, different types of people and how they interact with it. But I was curious if you could share some examples of how fans can benefit from owning a piece of the revenue stream from their favorite movies and TV shows through what you offer at LALA.
Yeah, it's a good question, and that's something that we're like very upfront about the expectations from these payouts. It's all about creating a deeper emotional connection to the stories that you know and love, specifically movies and TV, and less so about expecting a profit, an immediate profit solely from the payouts of these revenue streams. So we for this Wolf of Wall Street collectible, we have for the collection we have 3 different tiers of the collectibles with 3 different artworks and 3 sets of perks and benefits. So the percentage ownership is a part of it, but it's not I would say like the expectation of turning a quick profit from the payout is not something that we're about, or we can promise or tell fans to expect from this.
Yeah, that makes sense. Shifting gears a little bit, I kind of wanted to go back, if you could tell us a little bit more about your background, what inspired you to transition from venture capital to entrepreneurship with LALA. I mean, if you had any other insights there. And
so I've been a movie and TV fan since I can remember. I grew up in Puerto Rico, and I was actually watching a lot of movies and TV shows from the States. And that's actually how I learned to speak English when I was a little kid. Just repeating whatever it was that I was watching, like Home Alone or Ninja Turtles or Looney Tunes cartoons. It was great that I was able to consume all these amazing shows and movies, but being not only geographically very far away from Hollywood, but also a lot of the merch back then for the movies that was being advertised didn't actually make it to Puerto Rico, or the giveaways that they would announce on the back of cereal boxes always excluded Puerto Rico in the terms and conditions. So from back then, I was a little kid, I've always had this passion for movies and TV, but always felt like a very far away thing. For me, fast forward to when I was an adult in my professional career. I'm a builder. I've been building products throughout my professional career, first as a developer, and now and then as a product leader. And so those two experiences kind of align when I was at 776 talking about this with Alexis. And we were, you know, seeing what was going on in the NFT space, which I was really getting into, and I was really wanting to learn what we could use with this technology other than putting JPEGs on the blockchain. Um, so that's how we kind of started talking about this, and then two things happened at around that time. First was there was a this music NFT that held royalties for a Little Dicky song that Alexis. It was an auction, and Alexis tried to buy, and it was a terrible user experience. So we were like, "Oh, this is interesting. There's an opportunity here to make it a lot better." And two, we learned of someone that high net worth individual that bought a revenue stream into like an 80s classic movie. And we started researching and learning that these revenue streams are being bought and sold, but they're being bought and sold by either high net worth individuals with ties to the entertainment space or by investment funds. But they're not being the people that make this IP as successful as it is, which are the fans, don't have access to this. So that got the wheels turning and really was what inspired the idea of LALA.
It's fascinating. And I gotta commend you because learning English is not easy. And when I go to a foreign country and watch TV, man, I try, and it's just so hard.
Oh, for sure. Look, I definitely, we started learning English at school, like at kindergarten, back in Puerto Rico. But before then, it was just repeating, whatever it was that I was watching.
Yeah, very good. I'm impressed. And, entrepreneurship, I'm sure, comes with a lot of challenges. So I was wondering if you could share some of the significant challenges you faced in building LALA and, how you overcame them.
One of the biggest challenges in early stage as a founder is just getting a lot of no's, a lot of people not seeing what you're seeing, not seeing the same opportunity that you're seeing, or like it not making sense for whatever reason. There's so many variables, right? Timing, and other things that might happen. Having just learning to first not take it personal is a great lesson, and two is continuing to show up is huge. One thing that I read a quote recently about like discipline is like showing up and getting things done when we don't feel like it. As a founder, you're a human being. Like when you get told no 100 times, sometimes like the motivation might not be there, but you still have to show up. You still have to do the work. You still have to continue, knocking on doors and continue pushing forward, because that's just the challenge, right? Like turning nothing into something and making people believe in it is what every entrepreneur has to do at first before they're a success story, and then everyone's like, oh, like, yeah, of course, this is an obvious thing that should exist. It's something that having worked on the VC side allowed me to see other founders go through this like early stage. So that kind of like prepared me for my own founder journey.
Yeah, that's very cool, man. I was wondering if we could look ahead a little bit, you could share some of your long-term goals and vision for Lala in the digital collectibles and entertainment space.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think the digital collectibles will start turning movie IP more into brands and like just like creating kind of like loyalty programs for IP. This is a similar way that Starbucks has their loyalty program, and you get stars every time you buy a coffee, or do they have their Odyssey program with their producing content for fans. Like if you go on these like quests, you earn points that you can redeem for products. So I see the big brands like Starbucks, Nike are starting to do that successfully, even in today's market, right? So with with Hollywood IP and these like franchises, which is what the studios are kind of like basically focusing on. A lot of there's data that says like a lot of the movies that are coming out, a good percentage of it are franchises. um so there's in the attention economy, they're gonna have to compete in a better way with fans that are getting all this competition from TikTok and social media to try to grab their attention. And the one way, user generated content is getting better, it's getting more engaging, the tools for creating better content are improving, and the cost of it is going down. So that's why IP owners are going to have to find a way to make it more immersive and allow fans to engage in new ways. And that's the opportunity that we're seeing with Lala, is creating that connection, a platform where they can IP owners can engage with fans in new ways. Because IP, historically, and from my conversations with the big studios and IP owners, they're not set up to own this relationship with fans. And that's where they're interested in finding ways to do that, but they're trying to figure that out as we speak.
Can you share any exciting developments or partnerships on the horizon for Lala that our listeners should keep an eye out for?
Yeah, last month we launched our first partnership with the Wolf of Wall Street. We have a second drop coming very soon with some new goodies on the merch side. And I'm currently I've been in LA for the last 3 months, talking to IP owners and working on the partnership side. Right now, there's nothing that I'm ready to announce. But yeah, we're definitely excited about the different possibilities in the space.
Cool. And how can people get involved?
Yeah, they can get involved in different ways. First, by going to lala.xyz, creating an account, and buying all these collectibles for drop 001 that we released. But we also, it doesn't cost anything to following us on Twitter, or going on our Discord and becoming part of our community. In the next couple of weeks, we're gonna launch a rewards program, which is people can go in, they can collect points based on the different actions that they take to either contribute to the community building by being active on our Discord, or liking our content, sharing our content, and which is like setting the foundation also for them getting rewarded for being fans of specific IPs like the Wolf of Wall Street. So we'll have some opportunities for people to earn points and then redeem them for movie tickets and merch and other collectibles. So that'll happen in the next couple weeks.
Well, very good. I appreciate you joining us today and educating us. It's definitely exciting. Yeah, if you want to leave us with anything, please feel free.
Yeah, absolutely. We're super excited about the opportunities, even in the space that we're in today. There's definitely opportunities to create a better fan experience. I think like a lot of people can agree with that, especially in the movie and TV space, where the model of watching consuming content is being challenged. And when you look at the population that grew up on Roblox and Minecraft and building, like these immersive experiences, they're going to expect more than just consuming the IP. So we're definitely believers of this long term, and anyone can get involved. Again, by going to lala.xyz or following me at Hiram V. For anyone that's a fan that wants to talk more about this topic, I love talking about it. Yeah, open to sharing ideas, hearing people's thoughts about it. Yeah.
Well, Hiram, thank you so much for your time. It's been a real pleasure speaking with you.
Ethan, it was a pleasure speaking with you too, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure.